Thinking about expanding your family to the four-legged kind? Well, you're in the right place. We have some great adoption options for you this morning. Kim Powell is the communications supervisor at Maricopa County Animal Care and Control, and she brought a furry friend with her today. We have been oohing and awing over this little guy, and I think he would like to be somebody's next of kin. And he's available today even.
Yeah, he's already neutered, so he can go home right away.
That's awesome. Let's talk about where you guys are here in the Valley. You've just opened a new shelter in the East Valley, really changing the experience, both for the animals, for the staff. Talk about that new building.
So of course we have our West shelter at 2500 South 27th Avenue, but we just opened up our new shelter. It's in Mesa, 1920 South Lewis, and we are loving it so far. It is a huge facility, 84,000 square feet, and much bigger kennels for our dogs. If anyone had been to our old East shelter, it was very run down and it was ready to move.
So they got a nice new home and they're loving it out there in the East Valley. Maricopa County Animal Care and Control, it's been a busy year for you guys. We always hear stories about you're at capacity, and I asked you just a few minutes ago, does that fluctuate? And she's like, not a lot. You guys have a lot of animals.
Yeah, and nationwide we're seeing more animals entering into the shelter system. Just in the last year, we were over capacity pretty much since last summer. So we're hoping that it starts to go down, but right now we're in between about 700 and 800 dogs a day. And that changes every day. We get about 45 stray dogs in per day and maybe about 35 adoptions. So those numbers don't always balance out.
Yeah. So how do you guys handle that when you just have this influx of animals all the time?
Luckily we have some good partnerships with our rescue partners, and they'll take some dogs from us. We also have foster programs so people can temporarily take a dog and help us find a home, and that opens up space. And then of course we have adoption specials, but when it really push comes to shove, we have to divide up the kennels. So you have one dog on the inside and one dog on the outside, and especially in the summer, we really don't want to do that. Yeah,
that's not a good place for them. All right, he's been so good. So let's talk about Cola here. Tell us about this little guy and then some of the other animals you have up for adoption.
Yeah, so Cola, he's about 10 weeks old. He is as cute as can be, very soft. I'm not sure if he's normally going to be this calm of a puppy, or
I think he's playing the crowd right now.
I think he is too, but he's a really sweet puppy. He's already neutered, so he can go home today. But we have all sorts of dogs. We have all different breeds. We have different sizes, ages, personalities. You name it. I mean, there's more than 700, so there is something for everybody.
A lot of options to choose from. How can people help support you guys, or maybe help control the pet population in general?
Yeah, of course, adopting helps us, as well as fostering. We can always use more volunteers as well. But if you're not in a place to do either of those things, help us keep pets out of the shelter. Make sure your dog is wearing an ID tag. Make sure they have a microchip, wearing a collar, a harness, anything. Just make sure that they are well identified. That way, if they do come to the shelter, we can easily find you.
Get them back. And we should mention that Cola is neutered already.
Yes.
And the adoption fee covers microchipping, vaccinations, like he's ready to go.
Oh yeah. All of our adoption fees cover the microchip, the spay-neuter surgery, and vaccinations. So it's a pretty good deal, and he's only, puppies that are under 5 months are only $150.
He's beautiful. I think he's a little sneaky though. I think he's working the crowd here. Kim, thank you so much for this information. Thanks, Cola. You've been a very good boy. Maricopa County Animal Care and Control, the address to the West shelter is 2500 South 27th Avenue. That's in Phoenix. The East shelter, that new one, is located at 1920 South Lewis in Mesa. Call 602-506-7387 for more information. You can also go online to Maricopa.gov/pets.